She called at 11:47 p.m., the kind of hour chosen by someone who wants to wound you. Her voice crackled through the phone, high with triumph. "Your father left you 7 luxury yachts worth millions," she cackled, dragging the words like knives. "But I already sold them, cheap, to my friends. They're gone forever." I didn't flinch. I smiled into the silence. "Thanks for letting me know," I said, calmly. Then I hung up. The next morning, the harbor master called. And when he told her what I'd done, when her voice broke into silence on the other end of the line, that's when I knew she finally understood. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Backstory: I met her the day I married her son. She wore pearls like armor and smiled like a politician. "Welcome to the family," she said, but her eyes said, "You'll never belong here." Still, I tried. I brought her tea every Sunday, remembered her anniversaries, even laughed at her cruel jokes. My husband, Mark, used to say, "She's just protective." Protective was one word for it. Possessive was another. After my father's death, everything changed. He left me his shipyard empire, 7 custom yachts docked in our private marina. To me, they weren't status. They were memories of his patience, his discipline, his faith in me. That's what she wanted to destroy. Discovery. It started small. A transfer paper missing from the office safe. A key returned slightly warm, like someone had just used it. Mark brushed it off. "Mom helps with the estate sometimes. Don't be paranoid." But paranoia keeps you alive. When I finally checked the harbor logs, the signatures were there. My name, forged with stunning precision. Each yacht sold. Each buyer, one of her bridge club friends. Their checks barely covering the fuel cost. I remember staring at those records, pulse steady. Grief didn't come, only clarity. The shift. That night, I poured a glass of wine, opened my father's old laptop, and smiled at the folder labeled Contingencies. He'd prepared me for sharks long before I ever met one. Each yacht was registered under a layered holding company, ownership tied to performance clauses, environmental compliance, and insurance bonds. Those sales she made, illegal transfers, void upon review. But I didn't rush to fix it. I wanted her to feel safe, to think she'd won. So I said nothing. I visited her for dinner, complimented her cooking, laughed when she gloated about cleaning up that messy inheritance. She thought I was naive. That's what made her careless. The plan. I waited until the money changed hands, until every buyer had their yachts proudly docked in the marina, champagne glasses clinking over my supposed loss. Then I filed one motion, a quiet petition to the Maritime Court, attaching proof of fraudulent sale, forged signatures, and the original clauses my father drafted. Every yacht was impounded within 48 hours. Her friends' names went on the federal fraud register, bank accounts frozen. Still, I didn't call her. Not yet. I wanted her to find out the way I had, through whispers, through panic. And when she did, when her friends started calling, begging for explanations, she finally called me. "You did this!" she hissed. "You can't just—" "Actually," I said, "I can. They were never yours to sell." Silence. Then the sound of her breathing, fast, angry, frightened. "You'll regret this," she spat. "Maybe," I said, "but not tonight." The climax. That night was the call, the one at 11:47. Her voice shaking between fury and disbelief, desperate to hurt me one last time. "Your father's yachts, sold, gone forever!" I let her finish. Then, softly, "Thanks for letting me know." Because while she was busy bragging, the harbor master was preparing the official notice. Her signature, her sales, every document, forwarded to the authorities by court order. The next morning, he called her, explained that the buyers had lost everything, and she, as the orchestrator, was under investigation for fraudulent conversion of assets. He told me later her face went pale, that she didn't say a word, just stared out at the water, realizing none of those gleaming yachts were hers or even real prizes to begin with. Resolution. I didn't see her again. Mark left quietly a week later. No fight, no apology, just silence. The marina feels different now, peaceful. My father's name shines on each hull again, gold against the water. Sometimes I walk the docks at night, listening to the wind cut through the masts. It sounds like justice breathing. I think about her laugh, the one that used to make my stomach twist. Now, it's just an echo. People ask if I ever regret it. I tell them no, because revenge isn't rage, it's restoration. And in the end, I didn't just take back what she stole, I took back myself.